Hello, everybody, and welcome to the No Zone. I hope you're all doing very well indeed. I have to say I've had a quite interesting week. Have to say, but yeah, absolutely great to see us all. The global boiling is taking effect in Ireland today. We got heavy showers and all the usual weather you would expect from an Irish autumn. All the fear mongering that goes on just blows me away. But I suppose we got to talk about the big trailer. Yes, the Rick and Morty Series 7 trailer was released with the new voice actors. And I was a bit hesitant about this. I'm still debating whether I will watch this series of Rick and Morty because obviously, as you know, one of the co-creators was pushed out, and then it turns out that the person in question was innocent. I have to be careful on YouTube, as you know. But the voice actors, of course, everybody was wondering what would happen, would the voices change, how would they explain it, but it turns out that the voice actors that they've gotten are absolutely spot on. You wouldn't even notice the difference, and I mean that sincerely. I watched the trailer. Now, talking about the trailer itself, I know Rick and Morty trailers, they kind of throw a lot of stuff at you, but you kind of, not that you kind of know what's going on, but you kind of have a sense of where the season is going to go. Now, remember, it's not just the voice acting that obviously would be missing from the co-creator. It's actually the creative input as well. So it'll be very interesting to see what direction this new series of Rick and Morty goes in. But I have to say, I was impressed with the voice acting. I can't, I'm debating whether I should watch it or not, but I am a Rick and Morty fan. I do like the show. It's come under criticism the last couple of seasons. A lot of fans believe that it's kind of gone a little bit woke, but Rick and Morty has kind of been, if you look at it from the beginning, it's always been kind of, it's poked fun on both sides, really. So I don't know why, it's getting as much stick. The stick that I would give it is the fact that I don't think the last two seasons have been up to scratch compared to the rest of the seasons that we've had. So that's my criticism. I think the writing has gone a bit stale, really. So it'll be interesting to see how they breathe new life into this. But it does look interesting. I'll be keeping my eye on it. But yeah, can't wait to see the new series if I decide. Well, more than likely I will watch it. To be quite honest with you, I probably will watch it because you got to judge these things um, by watching them. And I do like Rick and Morty. As I said, I haven't been really impressed with the last two seasons, but the quality, the quality could return. And I had some within those seasons. They did have some decent episodes and some actually mind blowing stuff that went on. I have to say, I did like the ending of the last season. It opened up all sorts of questions. But yeah, so that's what I'm looking forward to. Actually, Lee as well has been in touch because I know a lot of years have been asking, where's Lee? And Lee is back on Twitter, but he has been active on Instagram because he's been liking posts and stuff like that. So I knew he was okay, but he did send me a message just to say that he was okay. But he did actually make a movie recommendation, which I want to actually shout out because I watched this trailer myself and it looks pretty impressive. Now, you know, Lee, he's very hard to please when it comes to movies nowadays, but he said that this movie blew him away, and it's called No One Will Save You. It's a Hulu original, and apparently, what was the quote that Lee made? Hold on, where because he made an interesting quote. Yeah, he says, uh, "It's bloody incredible. It might. It's one of the most truly alien films you're likely to see." Right? And he says that it's one of those movies where there's hardly any dialogue. Reminds me of that movie with Nicole Kidman, the one where she she killed her own kids. What was it? The Others or something? Wasn't that what it was called? That had hardly any dialogue in it, and that was a great movie. Um, so that movie is called No One Will Save You, and according to Lee, it blew his mind, and you know, it's one of the best alien movies that you'll see. So I thought I'd let you know about that recommendation. Christian will be with us in just a minute. I have sent the link. I was having technical difficulties, so I had to share the bloody link twice. But hopefully he comes in. Spoke to Lee last night. He's in top four Scottish Stavros. He is indeed. He is indeed. He's on the mend, which is the main thing. And he will be back, folks. You know, he's gonna look at the end of the day. He was sick, so you know he's gonna take as much time as he needs, and you know what I mean. Lee is one of the strong voices out there, so he's no use to anybody if he's sick. Do you know what I mean? So it's better that he stays on the mend and gets as much rest as possible. We got Lindsay in the chat as well. So yeah, Bruce Willis has also been seen out in public for the first time since his diagnosis, and I have to actually say, you know, I think it's a bit nasty of the press when the family has asked for privacy that they keep trying to take photographs of this man. Bruce Willis has retired from acting because he has his Alzheimer's. So, you know, he's left the industry, he's walked away from the spotlight, and you still won't leave him alone. It's the same with Clint Eastwood as well, right? You won't leave Clint Eastwood alone either. You know, these actors have all retired. Well, Clint is doing another movie, but I think it's going to be one of his final ones. But after they've earned any bit of privacy that comes their way when they get to a certain age. I mean, the media just are disgusting, paparazzi, whatever you want to call them. Scumbags is what I call them. You know, if a family asks you to respect their privacy, you do that, right? It's not an opportunity to try to take a photograph of someone. It's absolutely disgusting. Anyway, we got Christian with us now, so we'll bring him on.
Hello there.
Hello. I was just talking about the Rick and Morty trailer there just before you come on. Have you seen it?
I'm not a big Rick and Morty fan, believe it or not. Everybody assumes that I am, and oh, shut up.
No.
Hey, don't stand on the tolerance hill if you're not going to tolerate my ends.
Yeah.
I know about them. I've seen a couple episodes. I just never stuck it out. That's
listen, I have to be honest. The first time, look, it took me. I'm not gonna lie. It was my little brother that first introduced me to Rick and Morty because obviously he was a huge fan. But I think it was already 2 seasons in before I took a look at it. And I remember watching the whole of season 1. I just looked at my brother and says, "You watch this shit?" And he just looked at me. But I watched it again on my own, and then I got it. I was like, oh, this is very intelligent. This is actually very, very clever. And I watched season 2 on my own, and I really, really enjoyed it, and I became a fan then. But it is one of those. It's like Marmite. You either love it or you hate it, or you just. It's like one of those shows. Like you'll give it a bash, but it's just not your cup of tea. That happens with me with a couple of shows as well. So I know how that feels. But we got Lindsay in the chat and Daniel saying hello.
Hello, Lindsay.
Nice to see you. But yeah,
Hey, Spanish.
so as I was saying, that was the big trailer that was on over the weekend, the Rick and Morty. So new voice actors, can't wait to see what happens then. And obviously, we're talking about the privacy of these celebrities when they get to a certain age. If the family asks for a bit of privacy, it should be respected, in my opinion. Where do you stand on that? Because some people will say, Christian, and I'm just playing devil's advocate here. Well, they chose to be in the spotlight, so they have to, they have to take it basically. But whereas I'm of the opinion, if you end up being ill or you get to a certain age and you want to move away from the public eye and the family asks for privacy, you should respect that. Where do you stand on that?
And who was this for?
Bruce Willis.
This is
Well, you
this
see,
is
Bruce Willis has Alzheimer's now, and
yeah,
he
I
doesn't.
mean, what it's I wouldn't say it's a catch-22. I mean, if the family comes out and says, listen, he's not doing well, we're not going to update you. When he passes, he passes. I think as me, I would go, you know what, I respect that and stay away. I'll just be watching the clips and making sure, if anything changes, I'll be keeping an eye out for it. Now, that should be it. But we are dealing with social media 2023, and they love to put their business into places that their business does not need to be. And we should have a lot of nunyas running around and just like, that's the way it is. And I know it's not, I know it's been forever. I mean, social media, the mainstream media will do anything, that's why we have the paparazzis and all those guys putting their business where it shouldn't be. They want the big score, and that's what people want. They want, oh, there's a picture of Bruce Willis walking around the beach. He doesn't look too well.
Mm.
And as a society, we want to watch the train wreck. Let's be honest. We'd rather watch the accident on the corner than watch the Boy Scout who rescued the grandma on the opposite side of that corner. That's just how we are built, and that's the way things are. But as for me, I've grown to go, hey, if somebody says, leave us alone, it's our business. He's not making movies. Don't bother. Then what, do it. It's leave him alone.
We should definitely respect it.
If
Lindsay
you
said
ask me, if you asked me a couple of years ago when he was in the spotlight, I kind of think of this as the Meghan and Harry of things. And, if you don't want to be in the spotlight, don't put out a TV series and then say we want to have our privacy. I'm like, okay, you don't get it both ways. You either want in or you want out. If you want out, you need to go dead silent. You need to go away. You need to be in the shadows and do what you need to do. And that's what the family's requesting. I'm making that comparison because we have people that are narcissists. And they say, well, leave me alone. I want to be private, but here's my TV show that just came out. Or here's my project that I'm working on. Like, you don't get it both ways.
Yeah. Lindsay said, sad about David and McCallum. Loved him in Sapphire and Steel. Yeah, I did see that he passed away. What was he, 90 years of age? Jesus Christ, man.
Still
but
looking good,
he
too.
was, I know, that's what I mean. Generations of fans known for different things, and everybody grew up with him. So it is sad when an actor like that, especially one as old as him, that was still kind of working, wasn't he? It is sad, but apparently he was surrounded by his family and stuff, and he was at home. And I suppose that's the best place for anybody, really, if they're in their last hours on this earth is being at home, surrounded by family and friends. There's nothing better. So yeah, it's sad. We've lost an awful lot of actors and actresses over these last few years, especially.
And he
I
was
won't
still
get
working
into
at
it,
90, wasn't he?
but
He was still putting it
yeah,
out
he
there.
was still working.
I mean, he's him and
Yeah,
Shatner
I
are
think.
around the same age, and Shatner's still
Yeah,
shoving out things left and right and everything.
yeah, Shatner. This is the thing, right? My granddad, my dad's dad, he was at 80 something and he was still riding his bike. But as soon as he had a fall and he slowed down, he went completely downhill. Being active at that age is probably the best thing for you. So Shatner, actors like Shatner are still around is because, as you just said there, Christian, I mean, for decades he's been just throwing out stuff, doing little stuff. It doesn't matter what he's doing, he's always busy. You notice that he's always busy. All of these actors that that are coming to 80, 90 years of age, they're still very, very active. That's why it's
That's
always
good.
important to have an active lifestyle, and that's you can't criticize people like Shatner. People might say he's a bit of a this, that, and the other because of what he did in his acting day. Who gives a shit? He's worked hard, right? He's still around, and he's still working hard. It doesn't matter what you think. That's that kind of work ethic. You don't get that nowadays. You get people making excuses. Oh, bosses should be more sympathetic about their time blindness. Me time blindness. No, just get up off your lazy ass and get into work on time. Right? Simple as that. You know what I mean? That's why people like that last as long as they do. They work hard no matter what they do. And my granddad was the same. And the same with me dad's or my mum's granddad. Unfortunately for him, he had chest pains and they got him to hospital. And as soon as he got out of the ambulance, he actually dropped dead right there in front of everybody. Um, but he was very active.
Sorry.
He was a bricklayer, carpenter. Like he was a jack of all trades. Like he was even in the UK building over there and everything. Like so. My grandparents worked very hard. And that's been instilled in all of their family, and that's the way it should be anyway. Yeah, if you want to get ahead in life, it's not it's not easy. You got to work for it. And yes, it is a pain in the ass, and we all want to give up sometimes, and we all do. We all feel like that. But you got to persevere. You got to move on.
Mhm.
It's just the way of life. You're dealt the hand that you're dealt, and you make your own luck around along the way. It's as simple as that. You can achieve that, and if you put your mind to it. Um, but yeah. So what was it? There was something I saw that I wanted to bring up. There was something. There was something there. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? See, this is what happens when you. Oh yeah, it's any fans of Star Trek Enterprise. It's its anniversary today.
Oh.
Um, So I saw that. That's interesting. I never got into that actually, Christian. But everybody keeps telling me, near the end it got good, and then they decided to cancel it. And then I'm kind of thinking, well, if that's the case, what's the point of watching it if I know it's gonna fucking end before it was supposed to fucking end? Like, I can't do that with TV shows. Can you? Can you do that actually? Because I can't. When I hear of a TV show, if I find a new TV show, say, or someone recommends one to me, but they say to me, "Oh, it was cancelled after 3 seasons," I won't watch it because, for the simple fact is, it's like they obviously haven't finished the story that they wanted to finish. So what's the point of me wasting my time on 3 seasons when it's just going to abruptly end? Can you do that? Can you watch TV shows that have
Yeah.
just been cancelled?
Yeah. Oh, of course. There's some when BBC America used to rerun stuff. I didn't know like the series had ended. Like one of the series that was my guilty pleasure for a while that ran on BBC America was Mile High. I don't know if anybody remembers that TV show over there, But I watched it. Yeah, it was one of those weird dramas. But I hadn't known. I think the show had ended like 6 years. Now they did end it, and from what I understand, I didn't read anything ahead of time, so nobody liked the ending. They were like every payoff that ending put out, it just like killed it. So, I mean, I can watch a series. It does seem a little different. You want to watch something new and fresh rather something behind. But I'm gone back and watching old House MD shows
Mm.
because those are really good stories and those were really good things. And Hugh Laurie is just a phenomenal actor. I'm sorry, not sorry. This guy is, to me, one of the biggest time blindness I see in Scottish. Yeah, go figure. Just another buzzword for saying I'm lazy. I'm like, I think I was it you I told. I said, well, if your boss comes up to you and you go up to him for his paycheck, can your boss say, well, I'm having time blindness too?
Yeah, you said that
I'm
last
just
week.
like,
Yeah,
well, I
exactly.
meant when you're going out on a date, you come out an hour later. Do you think that's time blindness? No,
Mm.
this is just being lazy. Today, you have alarms on your phones. You could set alarms on things. You're just being lazy. You just need to get up, or you need to get up a lot earlier.
Sure,
Time.
can't you get Alexa, wherever you bleeding call her, to fucking wake you up in the mornings now? I mean, there is no excuse, man. If you're late for work, it better be either for
Right.
traffic reasons or a genuine reason why you're late. There is no excuse. Back then, we had excuses because we had shitty bus services. We had fucking, sometimes you had to walk to fucking work and you'd get in about 15 minutes fucking late, and then the boss be like, bus late again. Yeah, yeah, I had to fucking walk. Like the bosses even back then understood, but you'd have to stay 15 minutes later. So
Yeah. Oh,
the
yeah.
boss would ring up and say, listen to your man that be taking over from you. Listen, come in 15 minutes later in the morning. And it was done. That's the way it was done. Bang.
And not only that too, but it's like nobody forced you to take this job.
No, no,
So
nobody
why did you
forces you to
take it
take
if you
any
could
job.
not meet the pre-requirements, if you couldn't dress
Exactly.
properly, if you couldn't be on time at this location, if
Exactly.
you couldn't do the job that was required of you, and you signed a document saying I'm employed with these people and this is what is expected of me, I'm going to do it, and you don't, what do you think is supposed to happen to you?
Mm.
So I just never get that we're living in a generation who used to put all this crap that they now put on social media in their diaries and they just moved on when growing up. Today, now they're looking for remorse, and I think it's really causing more depression and anxiety. How many times have you heard that the kids today, they're taking more pills and they're having anxiety and and depression more than we ever had in generations
Mm.
before, who used to go into coal mines as a job and work for maybe 1/100th of what these kids are making or should be making. And yeah, these are not great jobs, but sorry, I when I hear college students going like, "Well, I need my college paid off," this pisses me off because I had 3 jobs when I was working college. I was going to college. I worked a grocery store at night, Monday through Fridays,
Mm.
and I worked for the college during the days. And on the weekends, I worked for a theme park. Piss off.
Yeah.
If you don't want,
And you know
if you
what?
don't can't afford the Mercedes, don't buy the Mercedes.
And you know what? You bring up the coal mines and stuff and the workers there. I mean, in the UK, I think British people will even admit this. They drove the economy for bloody decades. Like, if it hadn't have been for those men and women that worked on those mines, the UK would have came to a standstill. That's why, like, in old football, if you're a football fan, and I mean soccer for anybody that's in Canada or the US, football and mines like that and factories like that, steel factories like that, they had a very close association with whatever football club was in that area, right? So it's ingrained. So when Maggie Thatcher came along and she decided that, like, the coal miners were not any benefit anymore. Then you see what happened in the UK. She didn't get her Iron Lady name for nothing anyway. But we won't remind the British people of what an absolute bag that one was. Anyway, moving on. But no, but to those people, in all seriousness, it doesn't matter what you're in society, right? If if you're working in the transport industry or whatever, if you're a nurse, if you're a doctor, bus driver, taxi driver, everybody does their part. You know what I mean? Some of us don't like the jobs that we have to do, and trust me, I've been in plenty of jobs that I didn't like, but I got on with it because I knew eventually I'd move on to a better job. It was just bide
Well,
your time,
everybody, I
hold your
think
tongue.
it's
Yeah.
very rare as a society, or at least as individuals, that we get the perfect job that we like, or at least be
Mm,
paid for the perfect amount that we think we're owed.
yeah.
I think everybody in their own right thinks they're owed triple what they're owed. But the question
Mm,
comes up is to what have you done to prove that you're owed that? I think, with the current job, I won't say who I'm working with, but I think I should be owed double, if not triple, because of the amount of time I have, because of the amount of experience. But what have I done? Have I done anything in my own to show that that's the case? And if I
mm,
really feel that we're in an impasse, then I leave and go somewhere else. That's the thing. That's the beauty. Nobody's forced to do anything that you don't want to do, but you got to do something because you have to
that's it.
prove why you should earn the house that somebody built, to eat the food that somebody made, and to have the clothes that somebody assembled, to have those nice little products that somebody built. Those things didn't just come out of thin air. They came from somewhere, and you have to do something to value it. Unfortunately, it may not be the greatest thing that we have, but it's a thing that we can work with. And
Look, the ideal situation for everybody would be to be able to sit on their arses, relax, and not have a care in the world. But unfortunately, that's not the reality of our lives and the situation. Okay, so we may come to a point in society where that is a thing, like they show in the Trek universe, where we don't have to worry about money, food, and all of that. But obviously, it won't go the way the Trek universe goes. They'll want to control us all, and we'll be all on video camera, and their faces and fingerprints will be ID'd and all of that shit. We'll have chips inside their heads and their hands and all of this crap, and it's already happening. But
but
you
but
never
no,
know.
but no, that doesn't change the calculus. It still doesn't
No.
change the parameters, because you don't earn captain because you were just sitting on your bench with your OnlyFans. You worked hard, you studied, you went on explorations, you took risks. Even though they're
Mm,
not making money, they're going. If anything, what I think is funny when people go like, "Well, socialism works on Star Trek," yeah, but if you want to be something like a captain or an engineer or something, you still have to prove your worth.
Do you
That
know
still
who the
doesn't
perfect
change. You
example
can't
of that
suck.
is? And I know this will kind of make people laugh, but it actually is true. But the perfect example of that is keep trying and trying and trying until you succeed. Has to be the Colonel from KFC, the original Colonel. Like, he had failed business after failed business, he did, and then he just came up with this idea for fried chicken, and it became absolutely huge. I mean, obviously it's KFC, but like, he had failed business after failed business, but he never gave up. He kept trying and trying and trying, and then one day he succeeded. One day he succeeded. He even got to the point where, actually, when he ended up selling KFC, he obviously made a shit ton of money. What people don't realize is that even though they paid him for the company, they kept him as the face of the company, and he still went around the stores, and he used to give out if the recipe wasn't up to his um, standard, and then he ended up suing KFC because he believed that they hit cheap and recipe. Now, apparently, there's his original place, or the place where he first started. I think it's a bar. They sell the original Colonel's chicken, but he's a perfect example of someone that kept trying over and over, and eventually he got there. He never gave up. He never gave up. And there was a lot of people like that back in the day. A lot of
Well,
people like that back in the day. They kept
isn't
going and going. They didn't give up and wallow in self pity. Like they kept going and going and going. This is why these people are remembered today. It's
well,
because they kept.
isn't the thing that even today, I think, if correct me if I'm wrong, I don't know remember the exact number, but it's a high number that over 70, if not more than that, percent of new businesses fail within the first year. They're gone, or first couple years they're gone. They go bankrupt and then they lose it. That's
Mhm.
not an easy task, and people are going like, "Well, you're making well, okay. You try to start a business. Let's see how you go."
No, it's not going to be easy, course, and especially today with rents everywhere. It does. It's in Ireland. It's actually extremely high. I mean, your success rate of starting a business in this country, I'd say, would be nearly, of a succeeding. I say it's about 10%. I'm being honest. I think it has a 90% chance of failure because landlords of these properties, the government is letting them get away with extorting the small businesses. Some of them have even had to close after 20, 30 years because the landlord has decided uh, to, to raise the rent. And the
Yeah,
perfect example of that is Conor McGregor, the UFC fighter who doesn't need any money. There's a, there's a hairdresser's or barber shop, but not a proper barber shop that does men's hair, right? They do the shave, and so old fashioned place. It's been in the family for generations, and now because he's got all of these grand master plans and he wants to get these people out, he's put the rent up so high that they've had to close down the family business, right? And
yeah.
this is what's happening. This is what the Irish government, their failure is, and businesses fail. It's not going to be easy. It's not easy here, but that still doesn't mean that you shouldn't try because you might find something that people will gravitate to. For example, there's a little business here called Bella's Burgers, right? It shares a coffee shop, right? And
Mhm.
at night time, that turns into a burger bar. And I'm telling you, not a word of a lie, it's probably the best burger in Dublin. And it's just right outside my door. It's lovely. Their fries, creamy, cheesy bacon fries. Oh my God.
I'm on lunch, so
Absolute,
I'm listening.
absolutely amazing. But the thing about it is that I'm eating all healthy and stuff. So we've kind of, we have it as a treat maybe for a couple of months or so, and that was recent. We had the recent one, which was bloody lovely. But that business is doing well because people are supporting it in the community because the workers are playing gorgeous though. That's the thing though. You have a good product as well. I mean, that's half of the challenge. But word of mouth is the most important as well. That's how we found out about it, was word of mouth. So we kind of told everybody where we live in this bit here. There's a lovely burger place down there. You should
Mhm.
check it out. And that's what you do. Support your local businesses if you can, because think about it. Those smaller businesses, folks, are struggling. Landlords and are putting up the rent and stuff. So if you can support them if you can. I know money is tight, they're a little bit more expensive than it would be to go to the big supermarkets and stuff like that. But the quality is so much better anyway, in my opinion. I think it's actually worth paying that little bit extra. Obviously, you have to keep your bills to a minimum. That's why we do the Hello Fresh stuff. Anyway, KFC is brilliant. It's my guilty pleasure. Yeah, I don't eat KFC anymore. I stopped after that expose, but I won't get into it on this channel here. But let's just say if everybody saw what they did, then you wouldn't be eating KFC. It's absolutely disgusting. And you know me, all these or Peter fucking lunatics. But that expose was disgusting, so I don't eat KFC, and I haven't had KFC in about
If you knew all the fast foods that are
Oh
out there,
yeah, don't eat fast food. Don't eat
I'm like,
McDonald's.
we
Yeah, I
know
don't
it's
eat
crap.
McDonald's. I don't eat McDonald's. I don't eat Burger King. I don't eat KFC. I don't eat Subway. I don't eat any of those fast food places anymore. And I haven't. I'm done. Don't, don't, don't do it anymore. If I want me chicken nuggets, I go over to the butchers. They do fresh chicken nuggets. So I'll have me chicken nuggets off them if I want chicken nuggets, like. But no, I don't eat any of those places, and I haven't in the last couple of years, and I refuse to eat in those places. It's why we have a problem with fucking weight in the whole world, is because people just keep eating fucking rubbish. Anyway, is that you in that chat,
Yes, I
Christian?
am. I just
Name?
jumped in to say hello.
All right, just want to make sure it's
I'm
not a
bouncing.
troll because I'll be
Nah,
blocky.
I'm bouncing around things and doing some stuff while we're chatting. That's why I don't have the camera on, or else you'd just see the back of my head at this moment.
Anyway, have you got anything that actually you want to talk about?
As far as anything is concerned, I mean, it's. I just find it funny. Hey, Scottish. I don't know what to say about this, and it really boggles my head. Being the traveling TARDIS, I got to tell you these things. If you go on our Facebook page, I know I'm promoting a little early, but if you go on the Facebook page, you'll see a list of something called Traveling TARDIS and Friends. It's an album by itself, and it is every celebrity that I've ever come across, like a couple hundred actually. I think I've counted it. I was like, dang, I met these many people with the TARDIS. But one celebrity had a birthday yesterday, and I reposted it, and I wouldn't say it didn't surprise me, but I'm just like, guys, get over it. Really, it's gone on long. It's one of those things where one lesson about social media. I think one of the lessons, if they ever educate people on social media, is if you can't say something nice, you can scroll past it. And yesterday was the birthday of Kevin Sorbo. And a while back, I got his picture. And I decided to repost it. And if you go on the Traveling TARDIS site, you will see it there. And you will just see mixed bag every time I put his name up. And it's just interesting because do not tell me you walk down the line of tolerance and inclusivity and you're not going to include this guy. Even though he vehemently disagrees or whatnot, you don't get to redefine things because you can't work with it. Either you're on it on the boat or you're not. So I'm not gonna... Yeah, go ahead.
I said I do find it funny though that it's always certain people that react. Okay, you don't agree with his comments, you don't agree with his opinions, but you expect everybody else to conform to your opinions and your beliefs. That's not how it works. So if a person decides to defy that, then you drag his name through the mud. Whoever it happens to be, you drag their name through the mud. And as Christian said, and I will say this, I'm actually, that's why I don't get involved in any that other related stuff anymore. I've got peace now, and that's brilliant. I am being harassed by one or two but I can handle them. That's okay. That always happens anyway. But it is true. It doesn't matter what your opinion is of that person. Right? Christian put up a photograph because it was their birthday, right? And he happened to have a photograph taken with him. And Christian is sharing that joyful moment to everybody. If you can't say anything nice, I do agree with Christian. Keep your fucking mouth closed, because you know what? People are sick and tired of you all moaning all the time. Okay, it's as simple as that. I'm sick and tired of all the little bitches. Even someone was going, "Oh, all the bigots didn't say anything about a certain trailer because they secretly liked it or something," right? I didn't talk about the trailer because I didn't watch the trailer. I have no intention of watching the trailer. I don't care what was in the trailer, and I honestly fucking mean this. I have no interest whatsoever. But the fact that there are people out there that are worried about what other people think about the trailer just goes to show you need to fucking get over your fucking self. Simple as fucking that. Get over yourself. If you liked it, well fucking done. What do you want? The blue Peter badge, your fucking medal? All right, there are people out there for one reason or another don't want to watch that shit show. Okay, and even if it was good or even if it was bad, nobody gives a flying fuck. Okay, if you liked it, great. Okay, I am not watching it. I have no intention of watching it. Okay, so that is the end of it. So the rest of you need to get over yourselves about who watched the trailer and who didn't watch the trailer. It's none of your goddamn business. If you liked it, all well and good. If people hated it, all well and good. Do you know what? Just move the fuck on. It's a TV show. There are more important things happening in the fucking world right now, okay, than fucking having a rant and a fucking moan about who's watching a fucking trailer or not, or who's watching a fucking TV show or not, right? Don't give a shit. Leave it out. Right? Because they're all supposed to be fucking adults anyway.
Well, and
Oh,
it really depends upon the fine line. I mean, I don't mind people going out and saying, okay, I like this trailer or I didn't like this trailer, and have reasonable discussions about, what they like, just on the basis of anything, a movie, a play, or TV show or series or a picture or something. Everybody has their criticism. Well, I should say everybody has the right to, it's a social media. Everybody has their input. What the thing is I've always tried to ask this question of myself when I put something in: is this meaning anything to anybody? Am I just here to piss off a bunch of people, or do I have something valid to say in response to what I'm doing? I started reviewing stuff on my own personal page that that aren't Doctor Who related. So if you like the trailer and you want to say something positive, great. If you didn't like the trailer and you want to say something negative, or you don't like the direction of what Doctor Who is, go ahead and say it. But let's just say you and I are on the same, what is it, chat or stream or whatever they call it, the same room, and you say, I like the trailer. And I come out to you and say, well, no, and I use explicit names. Why do you like the trailer? Da, 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 da. I'm just like, that didn't do anything. That's not going to change Noel's mind. He liked the trailer. But if I say it in a professional way, just say, hey, Noel, what about the trailer that you like? And then say, well, I didn't like the trailer. Maybe you saw something I didn't. Or maybe, I'm trying to convince us that there's something, or, if you can't say something nice, move on. Yeah, just same thing, Lindsay. People can't scroll because because social media has made everybody into a narcissistic critic. Everybody's got to put their foot in their mouth and shove it up on social media where it doesn't really need to belong. If you don't like something, you can move on. Now, people want to say their thing, and this is good and bad for everything. Even, some of the criticisms, I'm like, okay, well, I think you've gone too far on that one. But when they go into the personal attacks, it's like, well, you really didn't have an argument. You're just a little bee. That says more about you than what your criticism is talking about out there. And it's the same thing with Kevin. And people are going like, well, he deserved it. Just like, really? Well, if you do something wrong, can people come onto your social media and start ripping you apart? Is that okay? If somebody calls you out or criticizes you, you make a mistake, and we go on your social media and ravage you, is that cool? Because of something you believe? Maybe you like something, maybe you didn't like something. Maybe you're religious, maybe you're a person of faith, or you believe in the LGBT. You want somebody to come over and start ripping you. You think that's cool? I mean, think before you post is something that should be 101 in social media education. I actually think parents need to start grabbing their kids, pulling their cell phones and saying, why did you post that? Who did that help? And we need to get in the practice of not just kids, but adults acting like kids, immature. They want to throw their snot rag out there and just do as much damage as they can, and not being productive to saying, hey, the onus is not you on, especially, but the thing is, it's being exacerbated by these companies that come out and saying, well, if you don't like this, you're X, you're Y, you're misogynist, you're homophobic, you're this and this and that. Okay, well, you're still not getting my money, and I feel bad about it. Now I'm not going to watch anything you put out at all. What is this? It was the Rachel Zegler thing. It's
yeah,
just like,
that's what.
well, if anybody liked this old movie, well, it was outdated and he was a stalker. I'm like, did you watch the movie with your eyes open? Or did you just come to
But
conclusions because you just hated it? And I'm like, why are you even doing the movie if you hate it?
I love the nice little segue because guess what I was actually going to talk
No,
about next.
here we go. I should have never
So
read it.
so it turns out she's been recast for the upcoming third
I'll believe it when I see
Paddington
it.
film.
I'll
Apparently,
believe it when I see it. I did see those things, but I'm like, I want to see it from the horse's mouth.
oh yeah, I agree with you there, but it would be a turn for the Bucks if that is the case. Maybe Hollywood is starting to wake up, but it's a bit on you know, they're taking their time. You know, it's time to take that U-turn now, right? Not take 5 years to get to the U-turn. Do it now, right? Start making great movies again and TV shows, and then watch the audience flood back when you regain their trust, of course, because they're not just going to come back willingly. You got to actually make something of note, you know, which is haven't done in a few years. So, you know, time to step it up. But it's gone a bit quiet on the Disney front anyway, though. I've noticed that. Um, I don't know. It's not never a good sign when it's gone quiet on the Disney stuff. But it does look like that the writer's strike may be getting resolved very soon. So unfortunately, folks, it's back to crap TV now and TV shows because they're back. You know, we actually had a bit of a break and a holiday away from them. Now they're going to be back and they're going to be more insufferable because you know what they're going to do? They're going to be on the chat shows and all of this complaining about the fact that they had to strike and the reasons why they had. So we have to listen to their bitching now for the next couple of months, right? So it's, yeah,
Well, who
it's
knows?
just a
Maybe
pity.
this might have changed the industry. This might wake things.
No, 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 no.
I'd like to believe that on my side, but I'm just like, yeah, it's probably not going to think. And Scottish Dad
It's
Ross says, if it means something to you, you still post no matter what, no matter back down. I get what you're saying, and you should have the freedom and free speech to do and say what you want. But I think there's also a tactful way to approach it. I mean, if I'm going in there and I say something biatchy, and it comes across biatchy. I haven't convinced anybody anything that I'm except that I am biatchy and just mean or cruel. I just love it. The people who stand on the island of tolerance are throwing, coconuts and trees out on their island of intolerance. And, they're throwing people off their island and saying, oh, yeah, I'm tolerant. Everybody come to the island. Then they're going to pick and choose who they're tolerant. That's not how it works. I think there's a tactful way where you can impress people. The onus of anything, of any product, of any company, of any corporation, of anyone, if I'm selling a product or if I'm, trying to convince people, is the onus is on me to convince you. And if I can't convince you, and I've called name calling, then what was the point of the posting? So I agree. Yeah, you still should stand on your principles. I'm not telling you to change your principles, but just maybe the approach of how you come across to people. Because if you can convince people, if you can convince one or two people, you know what? I didn't see it that way. That is such a great thing because it's so hard to build up things together. It's so easy to tear it down from one person's perspective. But I get what you're saying, Travis. I wouldn't change it, but I think there's tactful ways of trying to get people on your side of the equation. And I think you come to the reality of things, especially in social media, that people are so, at this point, I'm using the word tribal, that it's so ingrained in them that if you prove them wrong, if you were to show them that the world was round, they would still throw a tantrum and throw so many abusive words or language to you to shut you down because they can't stand on their principle or their facts. And that is something we can all do. And you can do it tactfully without coming across as looking like a jerk. If you can do that, that's a superpower. I think that's amazing.
I agree. Absolutely. Anyway, what else did I say? Oh yeah, Golden Globes are adding a new category to two new categories to the Golden Globes. They are blockbuster movies and stand-up comics enter the race, but I don't think there'll be any winners of the stand-up stand-up comics, because let's be honest, stand-up comedians aren't funny anymore. So I think that's pointless. Blockbuster movies, they're trying to get some of the movie stars in, I suppose, because the Golden Globes are being failing over the last couple of years. You know, if you're just going to get celebrities on preaching to the audience about their causes, nobody watches award ceremonies for that shit. Okay, so you know, adding these categories is going to do jack shit for your audience. Okay, yeah, what you need to do is you need to actually go back to basics with these award shows and actually get people on that are funny and will entertain the audience during the, you know, while they're doing each category and stuff, rather than getting someone on coming on preaching about some mad fucking absolute bollocks or whatever it is they want to preach about. You know, Ricky Gervais was right, you know, when he did that thing at the Golden Globes. Just get up, take your award, thank your agent and everybody else, thank your God, and get the fuck off the stage, because nobody wants to hear about your climate change or women's rights nonsense or your fucking gender rights nonsense and all this other fucking crap that comes out of our mouth. All right, you are there to do a job. Yeah, acting is your job. If you want to be an activist and all of that, then I suggest you leave the world of acting and do fucking that. Right? You've made your money, you've made your fame. Right, you be famous enough, go and do your activism. People will still fucking follow you around, you vain pieces of crap, right? Because that's why you stay in the industry, right? Because you don't really give a crap about the causes that you talk about. You're just so fucking vain, you just want to be remembered. Oh, look, such and such died, but was a climate activist. Who gives a
shit? Well, exactly. It's just like, I forgot who the comedian was. It was just like these award shows are about 3 to 4 hours of narcissists being narcissists and not getting. What was it? There was forgot the documentary, but they were doing a documentary about the Oscars and how they had moved the homeless out of the way so that all these rich people could have this award night. I'm like, oh, okay. So it's just. You're right, and that's why the ratings have gone down on these award shows, because nobody cares about. They want. It's kind of for a better term. It's kind of, if you really think about it, it's a sporting event. They want their favorite actor or actress to win an event, an award, because they like the movie or something like that, and they're in their seats and they're at home eating, drinking, whatever, and they're like, okay, my favorite actor is this, and I'm wanting them to win. They put it right at the end. Nobody cares about. And they kind of should, for like, who best costume or best best editing and stuff like that. But everybody wants to sit and watch the gladiator fight between these 5 celebrities are winning up this award, and they want to see who wins it, and there'd be praise. But now it's gotten to the point where it is so cringeworthy, because it's left that. Ever since what was it, that moment that Marlon Brando won, and that the girl came up to deny his award, I guess, for a better term, and then it just went all downhill from there. I think even George C. Scott, he denied his award for Patton, because he hated award shows. He's like, this is ridiculous. And I thought he was a terrific actor in Patton, and he turned down his award because he said these award shows suck. And yeah, he's completely right. All these people who think of themselves too highly because they were pretend performing, adult pretenders, trying to find relevance, and we like them, but we don't like them that much. So we just move on, and because we've got our own lives that we're trying to escape, and the film industry wants to remind us how our lives suck. I'm just like, okay, well, I come to escape. That's why I'm watching old shows. I think you are too. You said you were watching Dallas and stuff like that. When we cared about good stories and good characterizations. Why are we looking up? I'm watching House, even though it was, for its time, it was very cool. And the cool thing about House was it was one of those shows that didn't say what was right or wrong per se. It put everything on the table and let you decide. Now, of course, there's always got to be an outcome, and House has got to save the life, or maybe not save that life this week. But it put everything on the table and let you decide.
That's the way they should be done. That's the way it should be done.
Yeah. but they've taken the lazy way out. And
Daniel, with this comment says, comedy is like the dinosaurs. Comedy has been wiped out. No, I wouldn't say comedy has been wiped out. There are still some good comedians out there. Unfortunately, when they perform, they're obviously, if they tell jokes that the the activist side don't like, they're labelled far right and all of this other nonsense. But there are still some good comedians out there, great comedians who um, take the stick just to bring comedy in its rawest form, and it should always poke fun at everything. Ricky Gervais is one of those such comedians. Whether you like him or not, he is what the funny, and he never backs down on anything. Actually, if someone does come after Ricky, Ricky will just simply retweet something so absolutely funny that like he'll destroy them in one tweet. Like he doesn't need to really say that much, but he'll destroy them either way, and that's the way it should be done. What I hate most about comedians is how they've sold their industry out. They drank the woke aid rather, because some of them unfortunately have skeletons in their closet that they rather keep in their closet. And there's others like Ricky Gervais who don't have any skeletons in their closet. We know almost everything about Ricky. No bad stories have ever come out about Ricky, about shady stuff that he's being involved in.
well, they're trying to. It's not for a fact that they wouldn't stop him. They tried to hit Ricky. They're trying to hit Russell. They've already hit Russell Brand. They're trying to hit Ricky. I mean, can you really think about it? I mean, answer this question. Do you think the likes of Sam Kinison, George Carlin, 80s Eddie Murphy, Richard Pryor, 90s Chris Rock, do you really think they would survive 2023 without being unscathed? No. And that was the
No,
whole purpose of comedy. Lenny Bruce, I think he's the one that quoted it. It's like every joke is a revolution. Comedians should have the freedom to say what they want. I mean, later in life, I kind of fell from grace from Andrew Dice Clay, but he was, one of the revolutions with Sam Kinison and all the guys that came out in the 90s and just didn't care. If you don't like him, move on. Bye. You said your piece. You didn't like him. You didn't like the naughty nursery rhymes. Move on. It's so easy to move on. You don't need to. Nobody cares if, this is their product. This is what they want to do. And more to it. But to censor comedy because you don't like what somebody said, that's fascism, dude. Let them say it and let people decide what they think is funny and what they think is cruel.
exactly. But yeah, I mean, it's 2023. Year of the idiots. I mean, I remember when we got to 2020, and 2020 was a pretty bad year, and we were all I seen people out there say, "Oh, sure, it can't get any worse." 3 years later, it's
Here we
gotten
are.
worse. And here's the thing: 3 years from now, it's going to be even worse or less. But in fairness, I will say a lot more people are wising up now. So I reckon over the next few years, there'll be major pushback on all of the things that we've seen destroy our society, and in the entertainment industry as well. I reckon there'll be a major pushback on with the shit that they've been rolling out. Even Disney CEO Bob Iger has kind of hinted towards that. So, as Christian says, though, seeing is believing. So we'll only believe it when we see it. But I do reckon over the next 3 years there will be major pushback, and about time. It's taken this. This was a fad that should have died out ages ago, but it's hung around like an awful smell. So it's about time that it got out of here. So people are just gonna, next 3 years especially. Trust me, the studios are gonna have to change because they've literally lost billions, right? Not millions, billions. So they need to recoup some of that back. And the only way they can recoup that back is if they actually start making quality entertainment again, right? Because this model hasn't worked for them And I think they're all starting to wise up now. They should have wised up. I mean, they're supposed to be the cleverest in the industry. They should have wised up in 2016 when all of this shit started going into the mainstream a bit more. They should have put a stop to it then, but they didn't let it fester and go on. And now it's 2023, and look at it now. You know what I mean? People are literally getting cancelled, and they're trying to cancel movies, keep them away for the public from watching them because it exposes certain topics and all of this. This is what 2023 is all about. So yeah, a major pushback is going to happen in the next couple of years, definitely. But
I would argue the pushback's already happening. It started a while back, but now it's making tread that people are now turning around, going like, yeah, what will now people who were going like, well, you shouldn't say that. Now they're saying things that shouldn't be said, and like, wait, no, I didn't mean that. And like, no. now the cancel culture has come for you. Now takes what it feels like. So I think people
but I don't look at. Gonna say this, I've never agreed with cancel culture whatsoever. Don't get me wrong. There were times when I kind of had a smile on my face when one or two were cancelled that I personally believed for what they put people through deserved it. But when you kind of think about and analyze it, and I have over these last couple of years, nobody should be getting cancelled by anybody. It's not, and we've seen it time and time again. Public opinion, especially on social media, is driven a certain way, and once people on social media make up their minds, then your whole livelihood is literally ruined, and that needs to change. And what actually needs to change. There needs to be some sort of common sense and cop on brought to the fore again in situations like that. Remember, it's not the public's right to judge anybody out there or to pass judgment on anybody until they know all the facts. But we see it quite a lot of the time now that people will band around falsehoods, and people will spread it as if it's fact, and people's lives are getting ruined because of that. Chicken Run 2 can get lost with Cass and Julia like that. I did like the first movie. I briefly said stuff about it. I spoke about it briefly, but I haven't really gotten into much detail on that. But I will look into that and see what all the fuss is about. I hung around like a fart in an elevator. Certainly did.
I love that analogy.
And on that note, Christian, unless you have anything else to add.
Oh, I'm hanging around like a fart in an elevator. I love that.
If you want to do your channel shout out there, maybe.
Yeah, well, tonight, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard, 11 p.m. UK. Please join us tonight if you haven't subscribed already, youtube.com. You can see at the bottom of the legend of the Traveling TARDIS. Help us get some more subscriber. Show Noel and I just some subscriber love, some likes, some chats. Just let people know that we are, we're standing our ground, and we're opening up the doors for having just a really good conversation like we just had here. And again, we have our disagreements, but we don't take it out on each other. We understand that we got to live on the same planet. We love each other because we're good friends and we're Whovians. Well, then I'll get them back one day. I'm hoping I'll get you back one. Even if it's the classic Who stuff we talk about, I don't care. But, you get to know Noel better, and, he says his thing, and that's his gig. My thing is everybody gets to say a thing, and we try to at least maturely talk about it like we've done today here. Tonight we will be here we go. We're going to be talking about the 60th anniversary trailer. We're going to dissect it, bring it up there. Everybody, I'm sure, and their mother has seen it, but we want to break it down to things that we were predicting, maybe things we hadn't, maybe things we haven't seen. Also on our Facebook page, facebook.com/the Traveling TARDIS. We are going to be entering, I know it's not big here in the UK, but over in Ireland, maybe it is. I think we had that discussion. I think it should be. I think you guys would love it. But we're going to start our 31 days of Halloween starting on October 1st. Some movies, some clips from Doctor Who, some pictures of the traveling TARDIS and back in time when its most scariest stuff and some videos, and hopefully, if anybody knows who Dalek Hal is, we've incorporated at Dalek Hal in our family. You can check him out at facebook.com/Dalek Hal, Hal. Dalek Hal is our Dalek who basically hangs around here in Florida and just does some really fantastically odd things. And we're going to try to see if we can take him trick-or-treating and also do a paranormal experience with an actual Dalek. So if you guys are just like us for the Doctor Who Whovians, if you're in for the fun, join us 11 o'clock tonight Eastern Standard. Don't forget to subscribe both to the Noel Zone and here at the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS. You guys, please stay safe. You guys are awesome. And thanks for joining us. We know you could spend your time doing something else, watching something else, geeking out, binge watching, going outside. But you spent your time here with Noel and I just to let us shoot the breeze. And you could join us anytime on Tuesdays here at the Noel Zone.
Thank you for that, Christian. Really appreciate it. Obviously, guys, I do have a movie poll up on the community tab there. It's choose the movie for the movie zone for Thursday. And the three movies that I have chosen are The Goonies, Short Circuit, and Who Framed Roger Rabbit. And I'm going to tell you where the poll stands right now at the moment. So in last place with 18%, we have Short Circuit. In second place with 29%, it's Who Framed Roger Rabbit, but with a whopping 53%, The Goonies looks like it's going to win out in a landslide. But if you haven't voted, it's in the community tab right now. Please, my favorite, and then I will see you guys on Thursday for that movie zone. I will also have a couple of member streams coming up as well. We got to do 2 member streams this week. We'll be back tomorrow, obviously, with the gang to have a little nice discussion, which is as well. And as I said, on Thursday we will have the movie zone, and we will more than likely, I reckon, we will be doing The Goonies because it's winning out in a landslide, and we start at 8 p.m. on Thursday nights. So we'd like to see a few years come in. Real Super Doctor will be joining me for that one. I better actually let him know what movie is winning, so he knows to get. I think he'll be delighted for that. So Real Super Doctor will be joining me, and of course we do have Chris Persia, who's always in the chats for the movie zone. But we'd like to see a few more of you pop in. Even if you aren't watching the movie, come on in, because we do have a discussion, and if you want to leave an opinion about the movie and give your thoughts on the movie while we're watching, you're more than welcome to come in and do that. So I'd like to see a few of you come in and support Chris and myself and Real Super Doctor. I know some of you would probably prefer me to do Classic Who watch-alongs, but for now, I'm comfortable with doing the movie watch-alongs. So come and join us and support us. We really do appreciate it all. So get voting in that poll, as I said. So we got plenty to come up this week. So join us. But I am on my other channel tonight from 7:30 for Manchester United versus Crystal Palace in the Carabao Cup. We defend our trophy against Crystal Palace in our first game, and hopefully we can go on a good cup run. So I'll be there at 7:30, and we'll be watching Manchester United and reacting live to that. So come and join me for that, and I will probably get an eFootball stream done at some stage, but right now I'm going to take a little bit of a break, and I've got the other stream set up ready to go, and I'm going to have my shower, get all prepped, and then we'll see what time it is, and if I have enough time to squeeze a quick eFootball stream in, I will. If not, I will probably after the game tonight. So go and check me out there. That's Noel's Own Gaming, Noel the Red Devil, and of course we are here on the Noel's Own. And for anybody that is interested, we are now on Rumble, and it's the proper Rumble account. As I said to you, remember I told you I was going to be setting up a Rumble channel and discussing the things that are happening in my country. My first video was obviously all footage of the protest that I had taken, and then since then the media and the government have slandered us all and smeared us as far right, bad Germans, if you know what I mean. They've actually used the word. I've been doing some videos on that. Now, we got a couple of people in the chat who I won't mention who are following me on Rumble, but I'd like to ask the rest of you on here that do support me and do want to know what's happening in Ireland, because remember, what's happening in Ireland is happening in other parts of the world as well. If you're interested to see what's happening in my country, you'll be getting a lot more content there. I actually threw up 2 videos yesterday. There's a long one and there's a short one, but we're slowly getting our content up on that channel, and that's goes on Rumble as well. So if you want to check that out, actually hold on, I think I have the link here. So what I'll do is I might as well put it in while we're here. Hold on. Please follow me on that, because there'll be regular content on there. It's another place, and we're going to support Rumble, because Rumble's stance on free speech is important, and they've taken that stance. And you know, I will openly admit that I was very skeptical and used to put down Rumble, but I'm giving it a go. I'm going to give it a chance, because any social media organization or platform that stands to government and stands up to these lunatics who want to censor free speech should get support. So I'm putting it in right now. You'll see it there. There's the Rumble channel. I'll put the link in there. Go and support me on Rumble, please, guys. And I will be doing some live streams there as well. Obviously, it'll be all related to the country, Ireland, and stuff like that. So check it out. Please support me over there as well. As I said, I've been very, very busy. I've managed to juggle everything so far, you know, and it's working out so far. So hopefully I can maintain all of this, but all your support will be absolutely highly appreciated. It will make it worth all the time and effort that I'm putting into all of this if you guys keep supporting me, and that includes liking these streams here on this channel or any channel that I'm on. Liking me content helps with the algorithm, and that's all I'll ever ask you to do on here. You know me, I never beg for anything else but for you to give it a like and maybe tell people about this channel and about the other channels, and get a bit more support out there. That's all I've ever asked you. So thank you. I really do appreciate all the support, and to all the people that are following me lately on Twitter. Thank you for the support. I really do appreciate it, and thank you for following me on Rumble as well. And if you are on Twitter and you still have the Rumble link, it's up, it's pinned on my Twitter account as well. So please support me. I really do appreciate it, because you know I love what I'm doing. I love the content that I'm putting out, and I hope to continue to do that. And also for you members as well, I want the member streams to be a bit more personal. So this is just a message to the members out there. If there's anything that you guys want me to specifically talk about, because you are obviously members of the channel, right? Let me know, will you? Let me know in the comment section of one of the member streams that we have up, or when I do the next member stream, come in and let me know. because I want to make them a bit more personal now. I want to personalize the member streams. I don't want to make them preview shows of Friday Night Contact anymore, because I just want to do all the stuff that we do on Friday Night Contact and leave it there. So the member streams, I want them to be a bit more personal. So if you're a member and there's any topic that you would like me to talk about, because you guys obviously support this channel financially, and it's only right that I do content that you guys want. So for all you members out there, let me know what you would like me to talk about from now on, and we'll do our member streams in that vein from now on. And then, of course, as I said, we will have Friday Night Contact every Friday. Obviously, it's been a bit up and down the last couple of weeks, but that's due to people working and illness and stuff like that. But the gang will be getting together pretty shortly. You don't worry about that, folks. And of course, we will have the return of Chris and Lee as well. So we got plenty coming up, plenty to talk about, of course, because 2023, there's always plenty to talk about. So stick with it. I'll talk to you all very soon. Enjoy the rest of your. I'm off to have my shower now and then get ready for the Man United game. Forever going. So yeah, if you want to hear me give out about Manchester United, yeah, they don't give me much to celebrate these days. But go over and join me down at Noel the Red Devil. I'll talk to you soon, folks. Enjoy the rest of your evening. And I'm going to take shelter from all of this global boiling. I'm going to have to take my umbrella out because of all the rain, global boiling. I mean, Jesus Christ. I mean, they can't even come up with an original anymore. Anyway, bye. Everything's frozen.